When I say the day after plan, what does that make you think of? A movie? A book title? Because for diplomats and policymakers focusing on West Asia right now, it means only one thing. What happens the day after the fighting stops in Gaza? Even though truce in Gaza seems far off right now, there is growing attention on what should happen once the fighting ends in Gaza. So is a post-war Gaza deal likely? Is a plan for what Gaza will look like after the war finally taking shape? As the US leads efforts to discuss the issue, a rough blueprint for the road to Gaza's governance post-war has come to light. According to the Times of Israel, officials familiar with the matter have detailed what's happening behind doors. As per the US Secretary of State Antony Blinken, Egypt and the UAE are reportedly ready to join a post-war Gaza security force. According to unnamed officials mentioned in the Times of Israel, Blinken informed regional counterparts about this possibility during his recent visit to the region. You see, even though a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas remains elusive, the US is preparing to roll out its vision for the post-war management of Gaza. America has been looking to recruit its Arab allies for the initiative. It now seems like the US has the support of Cairo and Abu Dhabi. The current plan looks like this. Egypt and the UAE will be a part of a force that would work alongside local Palestinian officers. Now, the fact that everyone agrees on Gaza's post-war management is not surprising. After all, the Arab allies want peace and stability in their region. But you see, they're coming to an understanding with the US comes with certain conditions. Yes, Cairo and Abu Dhabi are on board, but conditionally. The two countries have stipulated the conditions for their involvement. Now here's the kicker. One of their demands includes that the initiative be linked to the establishment of a pathway to a future Palestinian state. And that is sure to irk the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, as he has always vowed to block a future Palestinian state. Additionally, Egypt is demanding the complete withdrawal of Israeli forces from Gaza, a demand that clashes with Netanyahu's pledge to maintain overall security control of the Palestinian Strip after the war. Netanyahu, remember, also wants Israel to be able to re-enter Gaza as necessary in order to prevent the revival of Hamas. Now, just going back to what the post-war plan could or would look like for Gaza, Blinken told counterparts that the US would help establish and train the new security force. They would also ensure that this new force has a temporary mandate so that it could eventually be replaced by a fully Palestinian body. Ultimately, the goal is for the Palestinian Authority to eventually take over Gaza, reuniting the war-torn Palestinian Strip and the West Bank under a single governing entity. The hope is that this would pave the way eventually to a two-state solution. Now, for those of you wondering, will the US be contributing troops of its own? The answer is no. At least that's what the officials told the Times of Israel in anonymity. This is what we know about the post-war plan for Gaza. The US is actively developing 3 concept notes on various issues. It is anticipated that Saudi Arabia will play a leading role in the reconstruction efforts in Gaza. Regarding governance, Blinken has communicated privately that the aim is to establish a transitional government in Gaza, one that would closely collaborate with regional countries. Blinken has been engaged in the ongoing discussions for months with counterparts from Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Qatar, Jordan, Egypt, and the Palestinian Authority. Furthermore, he has also enlisted the participation of Morocco, Bahrain, Turkey, Indonesia, and others to garner broad international support for the post-war stabilization of Gaza. In fact, Blinken has said that it is the Hamas that will determine whether or not the war will continue. And he has firmly stated that the armed Palestinian group cannot and will not be allowed to dictate the future of the region. Additionally, the US has also urged Israel to develop its own day-after plan. Netanyahu has continuously avoided discussing post-war management of Gaza, largely due to his reluctance to challenge his far-right coalition partners who advocate for the occupation of Gaza and the re-establishment of settlements there. National Unity Party chairman Benny Gantz, in fact, pointed to Netanyahu's avoidance of the issue as his reason for resigning from the wartime government. Similarly, Defense Minister Yoav Gallant has openly criticized Netanyahu's handling of the matter, but it seems like the Americans are not taking any of this. The US has warned Israel that failure to come up with a post-war plan for Gaza will result in Israel either permanently occupying the Strip or ushering in a period of chaos where Hamas could regain control. Israel does not want that. Finally, regarding the timing of the plan for post-war Gaza being made public, Blinken's response was soon. He mentioned during a press conference in Doha early this month that in the coming weeks, proposals for key elements of the day-after planning will be put forward, including concrete ideas for how to manage governance, security, as well as reconstruction of Gaza. To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.